You mentioned sexual violence. I was part of the human rights vetting process for arms going to Israel, and a charity called Defense of Children International Palestine drew our attention at the State Department to the sexual assault, actually the rape, of a 13-year-old boy that occurred in an Israeli prison in the Mosque in Jerusalem. We examined these allegations. We believed they were credible. We put them to the government of Israel. And you know what happened the next day? The IDF went into the DCIP offices and removed all their computers and declared them a terrorist entity. I think it is vital that atrocities not happen to anyone, not sexual violations, not any kind of gross violation of human rights.
I want to ask you about sexual violence, and it's kind of remarkable that this issue hasn't gotten enough attention globally. Widespread use of rape, brutal rape, sexual violence against Israeli women by Hamas. I've seen a lot of progressive women, generally speaking, they're quick to defend women's rights and speak out against using rape as a weapon of war, but downright silent on what we saw on October 7th and what might be happening inside Gaza right now to these hostages. Why is that?
I mean, I don't know that that's true. I think we always talk about the impact of war on women in particular. In fact, I remember 20 years ago I did a petition around the war in Iraq.
Have you talked about it since October 7th?
Absolutely, and I've condemned what Hamas has done. I've condemned
specifically
all of
women?
the actions. Absolutely, the rape, of course. But I think we have to remember that Israel is a democracy. That is why they are a strong ally of ours. And if they do not comply with international humanitarian law, they are bringing themselves to a place that makes it much more difficult strategically for them to be able to build the kinds of allies to keep public opinion with them. And frankly, morally, I think we cannot say that one war crime deserves another. That is not what international humanitarian law says.
Okay, with respect, I was just asking about the women, and you turned it back to Israel.
Just to be clear, this senior State Department official who has resigned over Israel's genocide in Gaza is echoing the work of many organizations, both inside of Israel and international organizations, who have accused Israel, based on facts and testimonies for decades, of Israeli forces raping children, raping women inside Israeli jails, where people are arrested, human beings that are Palestinian, living under Israeli illegal occupation, have been raped and sexually assaulted. And there has been zero accountability. There have been zero investigations. And yet the media focuses in the United States on the boogeyman Hamas and allegations of rape against Israeli women. Now, there is no eye for an eye, and no war crime and no rape should justify another rape. Two wrongs don't make a right. But why is it that the media is not just reluctant, but that the U.S. State Department, as we've just heard reported on CNN by a former State Department official who has resigned, why is it that the media absolves, protects, and shields Israel, the great democracy in the Middle East, for its flagrant violations of moral and legal international norms, including not arresting children and trying them in military courts, the only country in the entire world that does this, but also that they rape and sexually assault children.
I'm asking you about Hamas. In fact,
I already answered your question, Dana. I said it's horrific, and I think that rape is horrific, sexual assault is horrific. I think that it happens in war situations. Terrorist organizations like Hamas obviously are using these as tools. However, I think we have to be balanced about bringing in the outrages against Palestinians.
Yeah.
15,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes, 3/4 of whom are women and children.
And it's horrible, but you don't see Israeli soldiers raping
well, Dana, I
Palestinian
think
women.
we're not.
This is not an opinion. These are facts verified by a veteran State Department official. Just think about that for tonight.